Spoiler alert. The following video contains potentially sensitive information concerning a recently or not yet released product. Feel free to watch and get pissy about it, but this screen gives me full rights to just laugh at you for being an idiot. Holy box office, Batman, and welcome back to the box with me, Robin! No, I'm not going to be doing that, don't worry. Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the box with me, Rich Perry. As you may have guessed from the title, today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on The Dark Knight Rises, which I saw yesterday. Starting off, it is a formidable, fantastic film. Chris Nolan stands out as one of the great directors of our time. Pretty much everything he touches is gold. I don't know of a film that he's released which isn't good. Nolan has crafted, in his Batman films, a series that is pretty much unrivaled in superhero films and stands out as a great film in general. It just happens to be about Batman. I will say that, like most of the other critics, I agree that The Dark Knight Rises doesn't beat The Dark Knight. Just because I think The Dark Knight really captured more of the Batman essence of Batman, whereas The Dark Knight Rises focuses far more on the character of Bruce Wayne. I reckon the film could easily have been called Bruce Wayne Rises, and it would make just as much sense, but obviously it's a terrible title. But focusing on the character of Bruce Wayne definitely suits Nolan's series more, especially for the ending film, because we have come to know Bruce as the man who became Batman the character, but is still very much Bruce Wayne, which is kind of very different from the comics that I've read and the TV shows that I've seen and everything I've seen about how the Batman is traditionally dealt with. But The Dark Knight Rises is essentially the story of Bruce Wayne coming to terms with his life and what the Batman has meant to him, what his role as the Batman is within the world. Michael Caine as Alfred again stands out as a fantastic pseudo-father figure, and he puts in a fantastic, heartfelt, emotional performance that I think is awesome. It's just great. I like Michael Caine anyway, but this really tugs at your heartstrings because he doesn't want to see essentially his surrogate son die just so that he can be Batman. Anne Hathaway seriously impresses as Selina Kyle. I went into the film with great trepidation. I didn't know how she was going to do because, traditionally she's a rom-com girl, but she really surprised me here, and she's fantastic. She pulls it off great. I wouldn't say it was a standout performance, but it was strong and it was very well delivered, so well done to Anne Hathaway on that. But really got to talk about Tom Hardy as Bane, because he puts in a hell of a performance. It is astounding. Again, probably not Heath Ledger's Joker quality, but my God, to beat Heath Ledger's Joker quality, you've got to be something else. But Tom Hardy puts in a hell of a performance. I had no problems understanding him, which was lucky. I think the sound system in the cinema I went to was good enough that I could catch everything he said. The man is a whirlwind force, but what sets him apart from, say, the Joker is he's not going up against the Batman per se. He is really just going up against Gotham, which sort of detracts from his villain status, but again, I think he was a formidable opponent to Batman, and definitely fit the theme of the movie more, because it's more about Bruce Wayne coming to terms with everything, and how Gotham can deal without or with Batman, because he's been out of action for 8 years. And finally, where the hell, massive spoilers, if you have disregarded the spoiler warning at the beginning, this is a huge spoiler that I don't know how they kept it quiet, but just skip a bit forward if you don't want to know. But Talia al Ghul, how the hell did they keep that under wraps? That honestly caught me by surprise. I was flabbergasted. Because first with the origin story, you think it's one thing, you think Bane's the son of Ra's al Ghul, and then all of a sudden, BAM! Talia al Ghul's there. I probably should have seen that coming, but I was so engrossed in the film that I didn't. And it just sucker punched me. It was astounding. Overall, I think this was the best possible ending we could have had without the Joker. Because of how Nolan's crafted the character of Bruce Wayne and Batman, they're very much one and the same. Batman is not a character in himself, which is, in my opinion, how the comics deal with him. It's rather Batman who becomes Bruce Wayne, whereas in the Nolan series, it's definitely Bruce Wayne who becomes Batman. I think it is a phenomenal film. If you haven't seen it yet and you're still watching this video, go and see it. Do yourself a favour, finish off the trilogy with the strongest ending possible. I know a lot of people think it was predictable, but I personally didn't have any of those problems. Maybe I'm just short-sighted and naive, but I thought it was a great film. Also, as a fun little aside, I just today came up with the correlation between The Dark Knight Rises and the original Batman movie. I thought it was a really good joke, but apparently it's been made before and I've seen pictures of it. But when Batman's trying to get rid of the bomb that's going to blow up Gotham, just suddenly thought, some days you just can't get rid of a bomb. Pure Adam West line from the original Batman. I highly doubt it's intentional, but if they'd written that line into the film, it probably would have been ridiculous, but I don't know. I just thought that was fun. So that's The Dark Knight Rises, and now I want to talk about what next for Batman, because we all know that the reboot is going to come soon. Soon being the next couple of years, next 4 years, I don't know how soon it's going to be. They'll probably try and get it out before the new Justice League movie. What I think needs to happen with the Batman character is it's got to focus more on Batman than Bruce Wayne. We need to go back to the comic approach that I've talked about, or what I get from it, which is it's Batman who is the person. Batman becomes Bruce Wayne to deal with the real world. We've had the Bruce Wayne trilogy, thanks to Chris Nolan. Phenomenal films indeed. But now what I want to see is more of the Batman from the comics. We want to see him be the greatest detective alive. We want to see him have stupidly awesome gadgets and an amazing Batcave. We want to see him rival the other larger-than-life characters from the DC universe and, more specifically, from the Justice League. Chris Nolan's Batman couldn't possibly stand up in the same film as Superman, just because of how human Nolan has made the Batman character. Batman needs to be just slightly larger than life. He's still a man, but he is the best possible man. Another thing, we don't need the origin story again. Everyone by now knows the origin story. It is one of the most well-versed origin stories in cinema, in comics, on TV. Everyone knows it. We don't need to be shown it again. What I think should happen is we should start with some crooks running after some other stuff, and then Batman suddenly just appears and takes them down. Big shot of Batman, boom. That's the introduction to Batman. We don't necessarily need to be introduced to Bruce Wayne first. I want to be introduced to Batman first. You could possibly have a very brief flashback, like some still images or something, of the shooting of Bruce Wayne's parents, but nothing more. Batman is supposed to be a very closely guarded character. He doesn't want people knowing about his past or who he is. Batman is insanely clever, possibly insane, it could be argued. He's a formidable force for justice, and at times he'll push the boundaries of what's morally right to get that. I want to see that from the next Batman film. Hopefully whoever takes it will deal with it well. That's just my opinion. What do you guys want to see from the next Batman? What did you think of The Dark Knight Rises? Sound off in the comments. I'm really interested in what you guys have to say. That's all I really wanted to say. I'm now looking forward to Man of Steel, the new Superman film that's going to come out. I've only seen a couple of teaser trailers, not much from it, but doesn't look bad. Looks pretty good from what I've seen. Sound off in the comments. This has got me very excited for whatever comes next from both Chris Nolan and from Batman. And I will see you guys later. Have a great evening.